Hello everyone, I'm here today with a flip-through video. I have part 2 of the Smoky Mountains album that I did for my husband's trip in the summer of 2021. So this one has taken a long time to get it done, but it's finished. All that's left is he has to do the journaling. I've done everything else. So I think this is where I left off. They had a fun meal here. This was the evening of that day, and then it starts with breakfast the next day. So back-to-back food layouts here, which is just fine. I just kept it simple with some washi, puffy sticker, a little label. And then on this side, I just made sure to use kind of fun cards that I had. And then I love this chipboard. Yes, more of this, please. But look at all these plates. They had a ton of food going. And I did some stamping with my white Brilliance ink that says here for the food. I love to do that when it will actually show up. You just have to be careful because it doesn't always work. You have to make sure you have the right background. It has to be dark enough for that to show up. And then there's also on the inside here a photo flip. Oops, there we go. And then this layout, I think I actually had this one done. I had skipped around a little bit, but this one has a flip out. Lots of little embellishments here. I mean, they're pretty simple, but it worked out well. Full 6x12 here. Getting ready to go on another big hike there. And then full 6x12 here too with an enlarged photo. I just trimmed it down to be 6 inches wide, but it was a 5x7, I believe. Some washi labels, and of course a lovely acrylic piece there. That is from Color Cast Designs, I'm pretty sure. And this is a 4x12 insert. I don't do a ton of these, but I do have a couple in this album. I have another one coming. And then he really wanted to include the amount of hiking that they did every day, as much as possible. So on this day, they did almost 12 miles. So that was a very full day. And then here I chose to just do a 4x8 insert with the map. It's fully removable, so he or anyone else can take that out anytime they want and look at a full park map. And then over here, they had tea time. They had golf this day, and then enough pictures where I did a flip out on this one as well. And I even have a fun card with a golf cart on it. So you wouldn't think you'd see that every day, but I was able to find one. There's also a flip here. And then I used some wood veneer, puffy sticker, and just put a staple in to help make sure that it stays secured. And then on this side, they went to a brewing company, and so I wanted to get a couple of photos in there of that, and then he will journal here. And you know what? I didn't think I'd work much pink in here for sure, but it worked out. My sister-in-law had pink on her shirt, and it just worked to fit those in, so that's kind of nice. And then over here, I have another page that is actually 9x12, 6x12 here with a flip out. Got to use some wood veneer and really cater this to those colors. And that was a lot of fun to try to figure that out, how that was all going to work together. Moving on to the next day, here we are at breakfast again, and you can see there are lovely pancakes and cinnamon rolls. And so I just really tried to gear the paper and cards and the stickers to what was happening in the other photos. So there's a mix of kind of more gold color plus some blue to bring in the sky, and then the brown of the cinnamon rolls and the pancakes. And I got to use an enlarged photo here as well. I did a metallic finish on that, and then more of the foiled stickers. Those are so fun, so I'm glad I got to work more of those in here. And then here we have another full 6x12. This was an enlarged 5x7 cut down to fit. And then this was a 4x6, just trimmed a little bit. And I liked the idea of keeping this gray kind of behind it to really have it differentiate between the green background and then everything else. Otherwise, it blended far too much. So this was a nice way to break that up and then still work in some fun embellishments. On this side, I have another 4x8 insert. These are obviously larger than 4x8 a little bit, but this will hold them in there. And it's kind of nice to have this option because then I can do back-to-back brochures. He picked up a lot of brochures and maps, so it was nice to be able to have this size to just slide those in and then they can live there. And this was another kind of fun and different insert here. So you don't see many of these smaller pockets that go as horizontal. They tend to be vertical 3x4s, but these are horizontal 4x3s, and I also like those. So kind of just a little fun, different thing to be able to do here. And I loved all the different embellishments. This was a vellum piece. I've had that for a while and didn't know how I was going to use it, so it worked really well to be able to fit that in here. And then on this side, I used a sticker that he had picked up in one of the gift stores there when they were at this place. And then this, I just added a die cut piece and a fun little sticker, and it worked out well. And then here, when they're going down the side of the mountain, again, I just tried to match with the colors that were already there. So since the cars were yellow here on this trip down, I thought, okay, I'll use that. And I just happened to have some things in that color. So I thought, well, I'm going to use them. I don't need to make it harder than it needs to be. So if I have these at the ready, I'll use them. And then this was another stop for food. Nothing really inside, but the outside was kind of fun. And I had this that matched the orange for their hiking that day, about half of what they did the previous day. And then I had this with all the colors kind of matching. So that was a good fit. On this layout, this was really fun because I feel like I got to put more pieces together. It started out just as this green background. I layered on this die cut piece, and then I kind of got stuck because I didn't know what I was going to do with this blank spot because there was already a journaling card there. So I decided to just layer it up some more. So I found this one, and then I have a bunch of these cardboard or chipboard words. And I thought, well, I'll just see what I can build together. Well, they had this one that said people, and it worked with people getting in touch with nature, reaching new heights. It went together very well. And I liked that so much, I decided, well, I'm going to put on some more. And so I found breathe free. I thought that was good for this picture of just hanging on the deck. And then this one down here, vacay therapy, because you can see their nice cabin here and how wooded and quiet and serene it was. And so I thought, those were good phrases for a layout like this. And as we get closer to the end, he wanted me to specifically include a little bear encounter that they had. And it's kind of hard to see here, but these are paw prints here. It got in the car. They don't know how. They thought they had locked the door, but they must not have. But you can see the bear paw right there where he put his paw down. It was just rummaging in the car looking for something to eat. I'm sure there were probably scents in there from things they'd had in the car during the day, and the bear was able to get in there. So I used a fun little die cut that I had, and this is one again where it's like, other than like for a zoo or something, when am I going to use that? So it worked out here that if you have a bear encounter, you use the bear stuff that you have. So he got used. And then this one as well, I had this puffy sticker. I think this one was from Citrus Twist, probably. Looks like it. And it said roam, which is perfect. He roamed into their car. So I figured that was a fun way to work that in. And then I just used the red from the car for these elements, and I think it came together okay. And then he'll have plenty of journaling room to tell that story. And then here's another 4x8 insert. This comes completely out. And this one I had to do it. I had contemplated putting some of them in with the little piece that goes on the side that Citrus Twist makes, where you can just stick it on the back. But the way this folds out, that really wouldn't have worked. It would have been a pain. And so I decided, you know what? I'm just going to do another 4x8 insert, and it can just live in there by itself. And now we're basically at the end, and he had wanted lots of scenery photos at the end because the mountains were lovely. And so I have these two on this side as it got towards evening on their last night. And then he had picked up this cork coaster at one of the gift shops, I think, or the visitor center, maybe. and decided, hey, you know what? I can use that as an embellishment. And so I just took this card that I had as a background, put that on there, and went kind of with the mountain theme. And the colors actually ended up working really well. This is a little bit heavy, I will say. It's thicker than I would normally do on a page, but this album is not super huge. So I felt it was safe to put that in there. Yes, it adds bulk, but it's not an insane amount, and the album will still close. So it's okay. And then lastly, on the final page, with these beautiful, beautiful sunset shots, and I didn't want to do too much to take away from those. So up here, I just used this little chipboard that says yes, because definitely say yes to watching that sunset. Left this one alone because look how beautiful that is. And then on this one, I just took this little die cut piece I had because it seemed very fitting. The colors matched, the hills were there, the trees were there. It just felt like a really, really good fit. So there you have it. This album is done, and I had meant to do more on camera for the back half of this album, but once I got to working on it, it came together really quickly, and so I didn't really have the camera on for a lot of it, and I'm okay with that. But I hope you've enjoyed watching what I have done on camera, and if you've ever been to the Smoky Mountains, I hope it helped you relive your vacation. So that's it, another one completed. Thanks for watching.